Hello everybody, welcome to Ship Nuggets. Really excited to be in 2020. I can't believe it, a new decade, 2020. I was thinking the other day with my wife, just kind of evaluating the last decade. For us actually, 10 years ago, we were just starting our family. We had just one child, and we were just kind of starting with a lot of things, starting ministry, starting careers in a sense. And then when I look back, wow, 4 kids, and a career, ministry, and I cannot just but say thank you to God and thank you to everyone that has supported me along the way. It's really, really amazing. But on the other side, I'm thinking on the next 10 years, what's going to happen in the next 10 years? I don't know. God knows. But one thing I can do, or one thing I can be, is to be prepared and to take daily steps, one step at a time, towards the end goal. Like someone says, when you're setting goals, it's good to set goals, for the long term, and then walk your way backwards. But this just brings me to what I want to just share with us today, which is the fact that we have to start with the spiritual. We have to start with the things that we don't see first of all. We have to consider those things. And of course, you guessed it, I'm talking about worship. Yes, worship. Now, many people shy away from this topic. Sometimes we want to be contemporary and we want to use the right words, want to be politically correct. But, sometimes you just have to call a spade a spade. The reality is that our hearts are crying for significance. Our hearts are crying for connection. And one of the strongest and deepest connections that we can ever have is the connection with God. Yes, with God. I said it. God. G-O-D. God really is a relational being. And it's not that he's insecure in any way. It's just that he wants to express his love to us. And the way he expresses his love is through connection. It's through relationship. And what he did was create an atmosphere, a space through his son, Jesus, for us to connect back with him. And I want to just say that one of the best ways to begin a year is to begin that year with that sense of acknowledgement that where you are today and where you will be tomorrow is dependent not only on what we do as human beings, but it's also dependent on our relationship with God. I've heard stories, read books of many people who were fulfilled financially, very wealthy people who had good health, but it seemed like there was something missing in their heart. And that thing was that connection with God. And I want to just encourage you. This is the beginning of a new year. One thing I've noticed, as a pastor, is the fact that at the end of the year service, the crossover service, is usually one of the most attended services in the church. That and Easter. Everybody comes to church on those 2 days because they want a fresh start. And so I want to encourage you. There's opportunity for you to have a fresh start. Have a fresh start with God. How do I know God? I mean, basically, that's a question that is a very legitimate question to ask. Well, the reality is that God is there and he already knows you. And it's just a question of you connecting with him and saying, Lord, I don't get a lot of things, but I want to connect with you. In fact, I just acknowledge that you are Lord. I acknowledge that you are my King. I acknowledge that you made everything for me and I want to connect with you. So that's on one level. And the second level is to present yourself to him. Romans 12:1 tells us to present our bodies as living sacrifices unto God. It says, for that's our reasonable act of worship. So worship occurs when we present everything, all of who we are to God and say, God, I may not have all the answers. I may not be happy about certain things that are going on around me in my world and my life, but I know something. I sense there's something missing in me and I want a fresh start and I want to continue. I want to make this connection with you. So that's basically what we should start with. We all, in the beginning of this year especially, need to reconnect with God. We need to reconnect with our Father. We need to reconnect with what he has in store for us. And worship is a way to do it. When we worship God, we're shipping worth of value to him. We're saying we acknowledge him. We're saying we reverence him. And we're saying that we want him to just be the captain of our ship. So that's my encouragement for you today. Again, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Remember, let's keep sailing to the top.